Good afternoon. Welcome to TwoDaysFootball.com. Today we're going to talk about our 4-4 scheme, basically our 4 down linemen and our 2 inside linebackers, and how we use them to stop the zone read. Now, traditionally, the last couple of years, what we did with our 4-4 scheme is we had our inside linebackers. They were alley to midline players. So what that means is, depending on what the offensive line did, depending on where they showed run, if they showed run to the right, the inside backer to the right would attack the alley, and the backside inside linebacker would attack the midline, which for us is we say run away, you got backside A. So it would be the backside A gap. And then we clean up everything else and get our run fits with our defensive linemen. Now, using that same concept, we wanted to stop the zone read and come up with a better way to stop the zone read. But it actually works a lot better because we're not reading the offensive lineman. It's actually all predetermined on where we line up. So to start, what we're going to do is we start with our 3 technique to the running back in this case. And again, you can switch that, and I'll go over that a little later why you would switch it. So if you got your 3 technique to the halfback, what we're going to do to the halfback with our defensive end and our defensive tackle, we're going to play what we call a heavy technique. So if they're looking to zone this way because they're thinking about reading the backside end, again, we just want a regular squeeze technique. We're staying home so that the quarterback is looking to give it. If he decides to run it, we're beating him to the spot, okay, and making the tackle. But we're going to play a nice slow technique and squeeze with our shoulders square so that the quarterback has to give it to the halfback. Our tackle in this case, our 3 technique tackle, he's going to play what we call a heavy technique, and he's going to grab and prevent this offensive guard from climbing up, okay, and just kind of stalemate him. And these 2 guys are basically going to create a pile so that there's no cut back there and so that the quarterback can't keep it. So if the defensive end knows he has a 3 technique to his side, he's going to play a heavy technique. If the defensive tackle, okay, is a 3 technique and he's to the back, he's going to play a heavy technique. Our defensive tackle away from the halfback, what he's going to do is he's going to get in a sprinter stance. And on the snap of the ball, he's attacking upfield right away, 100 miles an hour, as fast as he can go. What he wants to do is force cutback by that halfback. He's going to basically come off the ball so hard that that halfback now has to basically put his foot in the ground and start turning it upfield. And that's what he's looking to do. He's not reading the hip of the offensive lineman. He's getting in that A gap and going. Now, our defensive end that has a 1 technique to his side, he knows that if a 1 technique is to my side, I'm basically shooting under, okay, to the B gap right away. Our inside linebackers, again, now they're not reading the offensive lineman. If we're in this call on a zone read play, this is what they have to do. If he's got a 1 technique to his side, he's attacking the alley right now. If he has a 3 technique to his side, he's buzzing midline right now. And he's looking to take this running back right here to the midline. Like I said, it's backside A, but in this case, our backside A, okay, we're in a nice run fit here. So now the midline is really going to be the front side A, and which works out perfect for us because that running back is going to cut right to where our stud backer is. We're sitting home backside, so the quarterback's going to have to give it. And if he decides to run it, we tell our defensive end, don't attack the quarterback, okay? Play a nice pursuit angle and run to where he's going to be. We don't want him getting north and south right away. We want him to start running towards the sideline if he decides to keep it, okay? Because we have help over the top. Now, if you decide to change things up, for example, they have a better quarterback their quarterback's a better runner. What you may want to do is put your better athletes on their quarterback if he's a better runner, which we've done it as well. So what we would do in this case would be we'd put our 3 technique away from the halfback and our 1 technique to the halfback. And our rules still say the same. So in this case, our defensive end knows now he has a 1 technique, so instead of playing a heavy technique, what he's going to do is knife under to the B gap. Our nose tackle to the halfback. Even though he's in a 1 and not a 3, he's to the halfback, so he's going to grab onto that center and play a heavy technique. He's creating a pile right there. All right, so there's no cutback by the halfback. Our defensive tackle that's away from the halfback, he's getting his sprinter stance, and he's going right now, right away. And our defensive end, okay, because he has a 3 technique, he's playing a heavy technique right here. All right, if it's a reach block, he's beating it. If it's a zone, he's pressed him back to where he came from. Because he has a 1 technique to his side, he's pushing to the alley right away. And because he has a 3 technique to his side, he's buzzing midline, which is here. And if that halfback gets the ball, our will backer's right there to meet him in the gap. Also, what we see is initially, if they don't make that read, and the quarterback decides to keep it because he sees him go under, our sandbacker or stud backer meets him in the alley, and if he starts to keep it tight, what happens is when he's pushing midline, he realizes that that tailback doesn't have the ball. He's continuing to push midline, and now he's attacking, and we're also inside out on that quarterback. So at times we get 2 guys on that quarterback, especially if he's a good runner. So he's checking midline first. He sees that that halfback doesn't have the ball. Then he's pushing the alley, and we have 2 guys to the alley to meet the quarterback where he is. So we've done it both ways. Again, it's a personnel thing. You also want to scout whether the quarterback's a better runner or the halfback's a better runner. So that's just another way to stop the zone read out of a 4-4 defense with your 4 down linemen, your 2 inside linebackers, especially if you play midline to alley. Thank you.